Just press OK, and we're away. So, welcome for the first time to LinkedIn for Breakfast for 2026. Can you believe that we've been doing these weekly events, or I've been doing a weekly session for nearly 5 years now? Unbelievable. So it's great. It's good fun, and I really do enjoy doing it. It started off as the marketing roundtable. It was just a few of us chatting about marketing stuff, and now it's built into the LinkedIn for breakfast. And it's wonderful to see so many of you and to see so many of you familiar faces who's been here for who's been coming to sessions for over 6 months. Just put a one in the chat for me. Who's kind of and then put a two if you've been over a year, do you think? And then put a three if you've been over 2 years. Let's have a look coming here. And if anybody wants to be really interesting, have you been coming for over 3 years? Stick a four in there. So that's the regular. But that's great. Good to see. Look at that. Keith's here, Yasin's here, fantastic. Darren's here. Right. So let's just kick this off. So welcome, gang. So LinkedIn for breakfast. Before we start, we just want to kind of let you know if it's your first time here, what is our mission here? What is our sinister plan? Well, LinkedIn for breakfast is all about helping you to essentially unlock the full potential of the world's largest professional network. And we want to do it for two reasons. One, to help you expand your brand. What does that mean? That means more people recognize you, your connections go up, people see your content, people watch your stuff. You get that awareness. We know that you do X, Y, and Z, right? And the second thing we want to help you with is that business development piece, that lead generation, that thing that gets that inbox pinging with inquiries. That's what we'll do. So we've very much covered both of those things. Those are our bias when we talk about this. I'm a marketer, lead generator, scaled a few businesses around this place. Most of them being within the marketing realm. Currently run an agency and a coaching program that helps people to be able to grow. So that's me, but don't worry about that sort of stuff because we're here about talk about you, right? What's our vision? Our vision here is to make this the best place on earth to learn LinkedIn for free. And today is such a good example of that because I'm going to be giving you a load of free tools that will give you step-by-step process on how to build all this stuff out for yourselves. And if you want to hang out with us, get the replays, get links to stuff, go look at what we've done in the past. There is a free community here, which the lovely Flora is going to be putting a link into the chat right now, called LinkedIn for Breakfast, and it's a tool. Oh, actually, she just messaged me to say you haven't made me co-host yet, so she can't manage the waiting room, which is true. So 2 seconds. Sorry, guys. I need to go do that. Otherwise, I'll be rabbiting off, and she won't be able to actually let anybody into the room. There you go. Sorry if anybody joined late. I forgot to make Flora co-host. And so hopefully everybody's now coming in from the waiting room. Good. So just to recap, in the chat now, Flora's just put the link into this free school community here, and there's a load of great resources and places to hang out with everybody there. If you're watching this on stream where you can't see the chat, just Google LinkedIn for breakfast. It's really easy. We're there. So 2026. What's the game plan? What's the game plan for 2026? Well, I built out this AI that I want to share with you. And ultimately, it's going to give you a 6 month business plan, but it's very much biased around LinkedIn. It's biased, it's not just LinkedIn, but it's biased around lead generation, marketing, and growth. And I'm going to walk you through it now. So let me just share this. I'll close myself off. And what I want you to do is just take this link, this shared link in the chat, and just click on it and have it open on another tab. Now, it may automatically start playing, so please do pause it and then have that ready. And the reason why that this is important isn't really the video because I'm going to talk you through it. But if you go to the bottom here and look at this bit at the bottom, it will take you through to the AI tool link here. And this is the bit that we're going to play with. And I'm going to walk you through it. So this is essentially a tool to be able to help you to be able to look at what it is that your business is doing in terms of monthly revenue now, where do you want to be in 6 months' time, and what are the practical steps week by week to be able to help you to get there. And I link to a number of different things that can help you to do that, right? So it's hopefully a bit of a game plan, a bit of a step-by-step process to be able to do it, right? So here it is, okay? And then I'm going to just press start here and just walk you through it. So at the start of this, whenever I'm building out GPTs, one thing I always ask people to do is this first thing, this brand positioning statements, right? Many of you will already know what this is. Many of you have done it. But if you have not, if the idea of it is to have a document, and this is a super tip for anybody who has done this and likes to use some of the free GPTs, because all of the other GPTs that get recommended from this 6 month plan will ask you for this as well. So it's worth doing if you haven't done it. Have this as a bookmark, and essentially it's a document that looks like this. So business positioning statements, niche statement, value statement, problem statement, solution statement, etc. All of this takes a couple of minutes just to create. And if you have not created this, you can do one or two things. One, you can just write it into this GPT Starter way and just do it. Or you can go on to the actual GPT that I built. And again, for free, you can use this and you can go through this step by step and do it yourself, right? So let me just copy link. And it's yeah, I'd switch to the updated model if I were you. And I'll put that into the chat there. So if you haven't done your brand positioning statements, just click on that second one and just open it into the chat. If you have, then great. Make sure you have it as a document like this because it will really help. Or just answer these questions because it's kind of who you sell to, what you sell to, and why you sell to them. That will then prime the GPT because it's going to build. And if you are only using a free chat GPT, I build these things on purpose to ask the fewest amounts of questions so you don't run out of your allowance, your daily free allowance. If you've got a free version, if you've got a paid version, then you're laughing. You can play with this till the cows come home. But if you're using the free version of ChatGPT, you can go through this. So I would just be pasting my positioning statements just raw like this. And then the second thing it asks us is what's my current revenue? And then the final thing is to say, what's my target revenue? So let's just say, let's just do something, that might be might be representative of some people on this call. So let's say I'm doing currently 3,000 per month, and I'd like to get to 10,000 per month, right? Say I've got a coaching business or a small sort of freelancing business or something along those lines, and I want to get to that stage. Let's just throw that out there as a good number, right? So 10,000, 3,000 month current, and then 10,000 target. So make sure you make that clear. Otherwise, it might think you're doing between 3,000 and 10,000. And that's it, right? So those are the three things, right? I press go and it's going to build me out a 6 month marketing plan that we can then start to work through step by step. And all of this isn't just ChatGPT's regurgitated garbage. It is all the stuff that I have personally been feeding it with our tactics, our strategy, and also further resources links for you. So it becomes a nice practical way of doing it. So that's the game plan. Thank you, by the way, for people who are helping people out in the chat and who are posting links. If you're watching this on a live stream, then what I suggest is that you jump in. Flora, could you get LinkedIn for breakfast? Could you just post very quickly the links that I'm posting as a post on LinkedIn for breakfast? Very quickly, just dump it in there. So if anybody's watching the live stream, they can go into the community and they can grab these links as well. Plus, we'll obviously share them with everybody afterwards, and we'll tart that up a little bit so it looks nice after this, right? So here you go. So it's going to give us a 6 month marketing plan. And ultimately, it's going to put this into a number of pieces, right? So outreach, content, network activation, pricing improvements, weekly online events, right? So one of the first things it's going to start to talk to us about is about daily LinkedIn growth. So what are we going to be doing and how are we going to be working with this, right? So for me, and this is why it's good for me to kind of walk you through this, when you're connecting on LinkedIn, you have about 100 connections a week that you need to put together. So understanding what connections you be going to, how to be doing those connections, and how to target it, right? So if you don't send your 100 connections this week, you don't get to send 200 next week, you just lose them. So you lose the opportunity. So if you know who you're trying to target, then you can start to do the connection request. So let me just kind of give you that as an example. Let me just jump on a whiteboard here and work it through. the oh, let me just get rid of this. Delete. So the whole point of this is for us to be able to make a list. So we want to be going onto LinkedIn and we want to be finding a list of people because if we're going to be sending 20 connection requests a day, that means that we've got to start with a bit of a data set, a bit of a list of who we want to work with. Now, luckily, on this GPT, there goes training, LinkedIn outreach strategy here, and you can click this if you don't understand what this is. Oh, and it's going to take you through to a video where I've put together exactly how to do the outreach and the connection request training. So it's going to take you through to actually show you that, which will be great. But ultimately, just to kind of give you a few tips on this, you need to know who you're targeting. You need to work these searches. And the simplest way to do that is for in the top search bar here. And if I wanted to target, business coaches, then coach is right, or let's say business coach, because that would be the actual thing. I can then use a search criteria that would look like this, and then LinkedIn gives us these options across the top. So we can go all filters, and I can say, well, actually, I don't want to target my first degree connections. I want to target second and third degree connections, or even just start with second degree connections. Maybe I want to target them in the United Kingdom. Maybe I want them to be, I'm not worried about past company, but professional services or business consulting services. That's the industry that they're in. Obviously, it's good if their profiles is in English. And it's maybe the service category, coaching, executive coaching, business coaching, consulting. This all works well, right? So now I've got a list and I can see these people. So now I've finally got a list of people who I can connect with and I can go through this and systematically send my 20 connection requests a day. Great. Perfect. So now we're up to a position where we're building our network, right? Great. Then I pop onto the chat GPT and I look at what's the next thing? Send 30 DMs to first degree connections. Okay, well, how would I do that? Well, and the training shows you this. I could go here and go, well, actually, I've got my list of people who I'm targeting on second degree. Why don't I just switch it away from being second degree to first degree? So now this shows me here's all my first degree connections that I'm connected to that are not actual second degrees. These are people I'm already connected to who are target audience. And so I can then just go into here, press message, and I can then start to message and discuss them, right? And so I think about, well, actually, what sort of message should I send them, right? So I could say invite people to a virtual coffee, no pitching, no pressure, just conversation, and then you can say why this works. Now, what you can do within this, right? So this is a super tip that I'll just come back to. And you can once we'll go through this whole plan, but once I go through this plan, I can go back to it and say, could you step me through step by step each week? And then you can ask it to give you the template of what I should actually message them to be able to get this virtual coffee, right? And then it will give me the DM message for a connection request. It will give me the DM message for the actual message to request a virtual coffee. But what I really mean is I could be doing something along the lines of, if I go back to LinkedIn, hey Fred, how are you? I hope you're having a great start to 2026. We'd love to have a catch up at some point. Are you available for half an hour virtual coffee so we can get to know each other a bit better? Something along those lines, just something nice and easy, just working through and just getting in touch and contacting and just catching up with your target demographic. So this is kind of first step, and this becomes systematic for you, right? So it tells you why it works as a training. The next piece is talking about your daily posting strategy, right? Across all platforms. It's saying use LinkedIn as your hub, so where you actually want to start with, but if you want to, you can repurpose across all these other fangled social media platforms. Whether or not you want to and whether or not it's appropriate doesn't matter, but that could be a good way of doing it, right? Then we think about, well, actually, what is this strategy? So when we talk about this, and so it's going to tell you, well, on Monday, do this, on Tuesday, do this, on Wednesday, do this, right? And so it's going to give you the actual post to do. And here's the cool thing. Here's a training and a GPT to be able to help you to create the Monday post. So if this is a Monday poll, for example, you can jump onto this Monday poll, It's going to be me telling you what a Monday poll looks like and what works well within LinkedIn. And then if you go down to here, look, there's a link to another GPT tool. And I jump into here and I go, okay, cool, right? So I'm going to create a viral poll for my Monday post. I'm going to press start here. It's going to start the conversation with me. It's probably going to ask me for my business positioning statements again. So you go to your handy dandy document. It basically means that because I produce these GPTs, I won't know who you are, or it doesn't know who you are. So this means, right, it now knows exactly who you are, who you sell to, why you sell to them, why they buy from you. Then it's going to ask you what's the topic or subject you're basing your poll upon this, and then it will give you examples based upon your business positioning statement. So it will go, your business probably talks about these types of subjects. So do you want to pick one, or do you already have a theme that you want to work for this week? So if I just make a one which is kind of scaling to $1 million, right? So let's say that that's the one that I'm going to be talking about this week. And now it's going to give me a poll, right? So it's going to give me the text to go above the poll and the hashtags. It's going to give me the poll question, and the way that we have primed this is to make sure it restricts down exactly what people should be doing poll wise. So should it be doing yes, no, maybe, etc. As opposed to having long questions, because yes, no polls do so much better on LinkedIn. ChatGPT doesn't really know that. We know that. So this is why we build these with our knowledge. So you get a great poll out of it. And then we also give you the first comment to use underneath the poll. So once people have voted on the poll, you also want you want to have the comments and the commentary underneath the poll. So we give you the first comment that you can post onto it. Then we also give you a DM to send to each of the voters, right? And we give you a variation because you don't want to send the same DM to all the people that vote, because then LinkedIn would see that as like automation and spammy. So we can be a vote on here, which says, thank you for voting in your poll. Interesting perspective. I'm seeing different answers. What do you think the most underestimated when trying to scale, right? So the whole point of this DM isn't to be like, hey, thanks for voting on my poll. Do you want to buy my stuff? It's thanks for voting on my poll. Interesting results so far. What's your further thoughts? So you're fostering conversation in the DM that then will lead into maybe saying, oh, I'd love to learn a little bit more about you. Should we jump on a virtual coffee? Right? So the whole point of this is we are outreaching now to 100 people per week. Then content wise on Monday, we're doing a poll, and then that poll is getting votes. And then we're going to be DMing all those votes. And again, this outreach to people is for a virtual coffee. These DMs are going to be putting in for virtual coffees. And then what's going to happen, you're going to get virtual coffees. And then you'll be able to look at things such as the ratio. So if I have 5 virtual coffees, does that equal 2 opportunities to pitch? And do those 2 opportunities to pitch equal 1 sale, right? And so if we know that, then let's have as many virtual coffees as possible. Let's go get ourselves caffeinated in 2026. Heather will like that. She loves the coffee. So the whole, actually, I'm going to have a sip of mine. So this is baked in real life lead generation examples of not just going, put some nice posts out. It's about put some posts out that generate engagement, that gives you the opportunity to create conversation, that gives you the opportunity to build a one-to-one rhythm, that gives you the opportunity to pitch, that gives you the opportunity to win clients. It's exactly what we're doing here, and it's the sort of stuff that we do with our clients all the time that gets results, right? And as I say, it's linked there. So then we go to Tuesday, right? Current affairs post, talking about what's something that's happening. Think about it being along the lines of the topic that you're discussing this week. So it might be about other people scaling to $1 million in revenue. Work a current affairs post. They do really well. Then we talk about LinkedIn newsletter and talking about getting people to subscribe to your newsletter. Why do I like LinkedIn newsletters? Why do I think it's one of the most underutilized things on LinkedIn? Well, if you look at my profile, oh, hello. Oh, I didn't know it could do that. That was very cool. What did I do then? Open in a new window. Wow. I have no idea what I just did, but I'm rolling with it. We'll have this. So actually we won't because that's annoying. Oh, what's happening here? Don't do that. Okay, let's open a new window because I want to show you the full width. When you come onto the profile, a LinkedIn newsletter, if you stick it in the featured, is the only thing that can have a one-click subscribe. That's a one-click lead generator to get people to actually sign up for your newsletter. Once you click on it, only I can see who my LinkedIn newsletters are, subscribers, and then I can go through this and go, "Oh, okay, cool. Well, look, I can see that Andy's my latest subscriber and he sent me a connection request, so I can press accept. Peter here, he hasn't sent me a connection request or I haven't tried to connect with him. So I would never have known that Peter had come onto my profile unless I had a newsletter because he didn't try and connect with me and he's not someone I tried to connect with. Yet he's a founder of a company who I might be able to help. So actually, that's great. Without a newsletter, I'd never have known that. And so I can connect with him, I can message him, I can say thank you for working on my newsletter, right? Or thank you for subscribing to my newsletter. Why is this important? Well, we've just done, so we're on Monday. So Tuesday, current affairs, just to get the conversation started. Wednesday, we drop this newsletter. You're getting subscribers of your newsletter. And then, of course, we can then DM those subscribers of the newsletter, thanking them for subscribing to our newsletter, and then bam, go into the virtual coffee. Do you see? And this is on a weekly basis. This you may only get only 3 or 4 new subscribers a day, but that's 3 or 4 leads a day. How many people are currently getting 3 or 4 leads? Keith just says in the chat there, thank you, Keith. I launched my LinkedIn newsletter on the 1st of January and I'm up to 893 subscribers already. Now, not every one of those is going to be a banging opportunity for Keith because it's that's what leads are. Not everyone is great, but there is 893 leads that Keith actually was able to achieve there. And thank you, Keith. I'm just going to stick that onto this lovely little thing here. And he, look, 893 subscribers already. So he's building 893 opportunities to have a virtual coffee. He might only need 5 virtual coffees to make one sale. So it's 893. Keith's packed. Like that's it. Like Keith's January is done, right? All he has to do is have coffees, right? So that's this is what the power of doing this stuff is, right? Cool. And then we give you these DM variations, etc. And then we're going to we some of my GPTs I actually do things like rename the chat. So on your left hand side, you'll have these rename chats here, so you can actually then have this, and you can see that this was the poll for scaling to 1 million. So if you're trying to build this out and you're going to be posting it for next week, then you can just see this as a kind of a log chats on the left hand side, and you can then go back to them and reference them. So there's a little bit of fun thing in there. Anyway, so you can see, can you see how this works? Now we got the same for two-step, but can I show you a two-step post? Get my pedigree chums. And I love newsletters, but actually I'm probably I'm kind of almost I'm having a sordid affair with two-step posts at the moment because I really do love newsletters. But if I show you my results for last year, so let's look at the post impressions. Let's look at the last 365 days and show this. So what did we get last year? So 1.2 million impressions. And if I look at the most engaged post, there's this free AI bot one. This is a current affairs post. The third one is again a AI bot. Sorry, a two-step post. So two-step post, current affairs, two-step post in here, right? So let's have a look at one of these. What do I mean by a two-step post? This is me going. The best thing I ever did to help my grow my business was install a CEO dashboard, right? So big statement, right? So we're going to help. I've got a GPT that's going to help you to write all of this. But the two-step is here's the statement, and then the second step is comment dashboard below, and I'll send you the link for our event that we did on this and a free CEO dashboard template today, right? And then just a little picture of me having coffee, of course, is a common theme. And look at this below, right? So 1,000 comments. People going dashboard, 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 dashboard. Many of you may have received this dashboard, right? So what this allows me to do if we're thinking about this two-step post thing, let's go back to this, is, let me just grab this and move this across a bit and then go back to my pen. What this, where have I put my pen? Perfect. So if we're going to be doing this two-step post on, say, a Thursday, then we can put together a two-step, um, and we're going to get those, say, 1,000 odd comments. Now, those posts are doing great, right? You can see that. But even if you had 100 comments instead of 1,000, that's 100 leads, right? So I got 1,000 leads. Keith got 893 leads here. You know, like a poll can have loads of voters, and the whole point again is that they have all asked, not just commented, but they've actually asked to be DM'd because I didn't give the link. Do you see the point here with the two-step gang? This is important, right? You've got to pick up what I'm putting down here. The point of the thing here is I did not say, here is the link for the event and here is the free dashboards. I said, if you like it, just comment and I'll send it to you. And then I go, great. And then I've sent them via DM. So I'm not giving it, I'm asking for it. So what that does, it increases the amount of leads, but it also increases the amount of comments, which then helps the reach of the post go up because LinkedIn sees it as a popular post and more people see it, more people comment. Great. I then DM those comments. And then, of course, we're then going to send them the value and then offer them into a virtual coffee, right? And so this is so important. Um, Paul Hawkins here says, so with the restriction on DMs, how do you manage to message everybody? Well, the point being is that all first degree connections, there's zero restrictions on DMs. So I can message as many people as I want, right? And so let me just put this so everybody knows what the comment is here. So the point being is that I can put as many DMs on my first degree connections as possible, right? And then for the people that I can't DM, then we send it as a connection request, right? So what we do is that we don't do the 100 per week here. So we don't bother to go back to the search and do these people this week if we've got a post that's blowing up. What we do instead is that we do our connections purely based upon the engagement on the two-step. So we would be going through here, and if someone is not connected to us, I would be then sending a connection request, and then I'd be saying, in the connection request, hey, thanks for your comment on two-step post. Here's the link to the dashboard, which you do as a Google link, so you can send that within a connection message. And here's the link to the event, or better still, here's a link to a Google Doc that has both the event and the dashboard. Or if you can do it as a free ebook, you can do it as all of this stuff. Do you know what the nice thing about this is? And let's go back to this 6 month thing. In this training here, I've got not only the GPT that's going to help you to create this two-step post in here. So if you click on this, it takes you to this page, the two-step post for social media generator. But also, I've got a swipe file of example successful two-step posts that you can see how this works. So here's a load of successful two-step posts, many of which have gone over 100,000 impressions and over 1,000 leads. So there's examples of two-step posts in here. And also there's the link to this two-step post generator. So I'm going to help you to generate not only the post, but also the piece of value that you're going to send out to people that's going to be viral and people are going to do. And when I create these things, I'm creating them with some real clever IP in mind, because most people don't realize that it's all about these first 3 lines on a LinkedIn post and your image. Because when you scroll a LinkedIn feed, just remember, now you'll know, all I can see is Mark's name, face, the first 3 lines of which one of them's a space, and the image. And that's going to do enough for me to want to click this more button, right? Same with this, right? So first, and if you do like these guys have done, like one long paragraph, it can then only give you 2 lines sometimes. And this is a promoted post anyway, right? So again, Justin here, he's got these 3 lines and an image. So if you look at Justin's here, well, this image is pretty blurry. and most people, salespeople, aren't being rejected, they're being ignored. Well, that's quite good. So that gives me a little bit of, oh, okay, why? Right? So we've got to try and work this to be able to make sure that we get the right line items in this, and people are seeing this, right? So it's super, super important, right? Um, Good. Okay, so let's keep on rocking this. So um, I'm going to I'm going to unleash you guys on this in a second because I don't want to kind of labor a lot of these points. But that's the weekly posting schedule, and there's another one for Fridays, etc. Is going to help. So this is then going to give you a month by month breakdown. So month one, we're talking about these things. And then there's another thing called the 5 by 5 network shakeup, which is something that Paul Avens, a good friend of mine, did, which is it's a really clever concept of being able to message five of your connections 5 days a week for 5 weeks. And we have a whole strategy and training around that. And then month two, there's a positioning and pricing. And this will depend on where your revenue is, by the way, and what's actually going to be suggested. So it'll all depend on you, plus your industry sector. And then there's some positioning on pricing. There's a weekly online events and some training around that. It's suggesting that I do a delivery and then scale what works, right? And then consistent 10K months is going to help with that. So this is how it works. So once you get to this, it's going to then offer you a few things like help you to tighten up your core offer, map your event topic sequence, write your first two-step post, or build your outreach scripts. It's going to now take you through step by step how to actually deliver this. Or you can say, can you take me through week one and the actions I so we can do together, right? And then it's going to go like this, and it's going to then help me to go through. Great. Let's break it down. By the end of the week, we're going to do this. The non-negotiables are this. And so let's get started, right? And now look, you can see connection note. It's already giving us a connection request. 30 DMs, right? Here's the message, right? Daily post, right? Okay, so um, can you see? I've unleashed you all onto this. So I'm constantly improving that. And if anybody does this and they find anything that's broken or things that potentially could be improved, do let me know because I want to make that a really cool thing for you all to get your teeth into and to perfect your first 60 days. So you can come back to me and go, Richard, I'm at 10K per month. Thank you so much. You nailed it. Or Richard, I'm at 100K per month. Thank you so much. You nailed it. And that would be awesome. Now, you can see there's quite a lot of work to have to do there. And I do get that. And some people love this stuff and they'll just be like, for the next few weeks, they'll have their heads in it. It'll be like catnip. And then others are like, oh, Richard, you lost me at the word GPT. And so I get that because we're all different, right? And we're all good in our own ways in different ways, right? So if that was, if you see that and you think, I'd love to have a little bit of help, I'd love to have someone to be able to work with, to be able to do this for us, do let me know because we have VAs that we give to clients who actually just do all this stuff. And I actually build all this for my team to be able to do this stuff for clients. And then when I get something that I can package up and give away to people to be able to try and do themselves, that's great. So this is a byproduct of me building this stuff out for my team. And my team have a load of other ninja stuff. So that's kind of why this stuff comes about because I'm constantly building all these processes and template. And not only that, the team that I have doesn't just have those GPTs, but they also have what we call interactive job specs. So for each one of our teams, so for example, one of our VAs would have a daily dashboard like this, and then they would be working on, so for example, if they're doing cold email, they've got these tasks with these GPTs all hooked up. If they're doing the Monday poll, so look, Monday poll link, they have these step-by-step things that they do, and you can see that there is loads of videos and GPTs and stuff all linked into that. So this is where it's come from. This is how our team works and how they can potentially work with you. And the nice thing about it, guys, if you did want to have a think about that, we essentially offer you a free LinkedIn profile audit. where we will look at your LinkedIn profile. We will go through it step by step and we'll give you some advice. So we want to lead with some help and we will give you some advice on that and we'll tell you some of the things that we can be able to help you to be able to make that change. And that will give you not only now a 6 month plan, but it will also give you another pair of eyes, one to one, to actually go through your LinkedIn profile and give you some updates on it. So that's totally free to do. And then after that, at the end of that session, we can talk to you about maybe joining Million Dollar Sprint, or which is our coaching program, which gives you a free VA, or just having the VA only. And so if you want to come on and do that, and I'll take some questions after this, but beforehand, please do jump onto one of these LinkedIn profile audits. Where's my where am I going with this? I need the link here. Here we go. I'm out of practice. And so here's the link to it here, LinkedIn profile audit. Hopefully that works. Yeah, there you go. So if you click on that, this takes you through to this page. And we got one at 2:30 today. Chinese dentist, 2:30. So we've got one at two. Sorry, that's so bad, isn't it? That is so bad. Right. So there's one today. And then there's some more tomorrow, and there's one on Friday, and then there's a few more here. So jump on there. If you can go in and jump in, spend some time, they will give you some great value. It'll be a good thing to start with, and then they'll walk you through the options. If you've already had one of those LinkedIn profile audits, but you think, yeah, now's the time, 2025 is the time to be able to come into your coaching program, Richard, and get help and support, or just have some VA help and support, then reach out to me and the team and just say, hey, I'd like, I've had my LinkedIn profile audit. I'm kind of good there, but actually I'd like to talk a little bit more about actually how we might work together. Then we can jump onto that as well. No problemo at all. Sonny's saying, how do we reach out to you? Do you know what? I'll just stick my old email out here. I tell you what, yeah, let's go. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm just putting it. So it's RW at Million Dollar Sprint, if I can correctly write this.com. So RW at Million Dollar Sprint dot. Oh, nearly sent that out incorrectly spelled. Sprint.com. Perfect. Good stuff. There you go. So you can just send an email to that. And the lovely Flora looks after my email as well. So if I miss it, she won't miss it. So the two of us will have our heads in there. So feel free to message me on that. Questions. Let me help. I can hang around for another 10, 15 minutes if you've got plenty of in-depth questions. I'd love to help. The lovely Sue's straight up there. She's using, so if you've got one and you want to line up the questions, you can use the little heart button at the bottom with the digital raise your hand thing, and we can line them across the top. But if you've got a comment based upon what, say, Sue has asked or someone else has asked that's relevant to that, please feel free to just jump in and ask it at that point as well. Sue, over to you.
Hello, hi. A quick question, not related to what you've done this morning, but I spotted it was mentioned cold email campaigns. Does cold email still work?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You just got to send lots of them, and that's the thing. So if you're
Do,
sending it, 10, 20 a week, it's not going to work. It's not going
no.
to work.
Do you have a kind of percentage return?
Depends on industry, list. It depends on what the offer is. If you go, hey, CEO of blue chip company, do you want to buy some IT support? Then I'll give you the statistic now. It's going to be a 0%
Yeah.
return. If you go, if you go to, hey, head of IT, we offer a free audit of your current tech stack, then there's a far better route for that. There's a
Okay,
far better
excellent.
potential for that. But then that's a numbers game, and so it's like the kind of classic what you put in the top, you get out the bottom. So if you put the proverbial in the top, then you're going to get very little at the bottom. But if you put a good quality list in the top, it works. And there's ways to be able to I use the word scrape, but people don't like the word scrape with this. But ultimately, there are tools where you can search LinkedIn for people who publicly give their email addresses available in the contact information, and so therefore are available to be contacted because that's the information they've given for their contact. And so you can send, if there's a legitimate business reason, an email to them. So that's the whole point of it, right?
Excellent. Lovely. Thank you, Richard.
No worries, my pedigree chun. Jane, over to you. Tina, you'll say just before Jane starts. So, Tina, is the RW ChatGPT platform private? The person writing it, yes. So that's a very good point, Tina. I have no idea if you've used it. The only thing I can see is how many usage it's had, right? So it's like having a podcast. You can only see how many people have downloaded your podcast. You can't actually see how many people have actually you don't know who's listened to it. Same with ChatGPT. All I can see is how many people have used it. I don't know who's used it. I don't know their names. I can't even see the conversations, right? So that's important to say. Jane, over to you.
Hi, Richard. Thanks. First quick question. Were you in LinkedIn Premium when you were doing all that you were demoing there?
I am in LinkedIn
Yeah.
Premium,
Okay.
but the search I used Basic because I've got Sales Navigator. So I try and show when I do a demo only stuff that you can do within the free profile.
Okay.
So things like having a newsletter, it's for the free profile. The search I did was the free search. What else did I show? The two-step post is just a post.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Great. Okay. So then my other question is, I watched your Brew 360 yesterday, which I thought was really helpful. And it provoked a question. I'm pivoting in terms of who I'm focusing on as my core audience. Does using hashtags make any difference? So if I were to hashtag, the kind of people that will be in my audience, does it increase the reach in any way to getting to those people to respond to my poll, for example?
so this is the hashtags you're using in the post.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does it help reach the people that I want to reach?
See, what hashtags is kind of the old way that you told the algorithm that here's the category. So if I want to target business coaches, I might go hashtag business coach within that. So that's telling the kind of the old algorithm, here's a keyword. So if you hear people talk about keywords on LinkedIn, then the dawn of the keyword has gone. Okay.
Okay.
Because it's all too clever for that. That's how we used to do SEO, search engine optimization. That's how we used to do LinkedIn. So that's gone. Brew 360, by the way, gang, is the update that LinkedIn had. Brew 360 has been quite big in terms of changing how your content gets distributed, how many people see it. If you go into the LinkedIn for Breakfast community, you'll be able to find the Brew 360 training. It's the last one I think we did before Christmas. But what it means is the AI is now the algorithm. And so AI is looking at what your profile says and who are you connected to. So it's going to look at all your connections and work out, well, who you connected to, who responds to your stuff, and therefore, are you a thought leader within that space, or are you just using hashtags to say business coach, whereas actually you're not, right? So it's making people who go, oh, I've got two hats, go, oh, I'm now generic. I need to wear one hat. And so that's it's been the age-old conversation, and I've always gone, it's better to have one hat because people, will see you as a specialist. Now the algorithm is going to force you to have one hat if you want to really succeed on LinkedIn. And so you've got to kind of pick your lane and then optimize your profile and also optimize your connections. Because if you are wearing the hat that sells to accountants, but actually your whole network is a network full of insurance brokers, you actually need to almost remove that network so you can focus on the new network, which is also a bit scary for people. So yeah, it's a brave new world, but you've got to go for it, I'm afraid.
So you're saying that they're not really relevant at all now. I didn't know if they were another layer in the new world or not.
Yeah.
Maybe we
Like
don't know yet.
it's a signal, right? So if you think about the algorithm's going to look at your content and see what you're talking about. Now, the hashtag is like a little signpost that says my intention was that this is talking to business coaches about leadership. And so I think the hashtags helps to show what your intention is. But in reality, the AI is more clever than that. It will just read your post and it will see who comments on your post. And if your post is leadership advice, for business coaches, and some business coaches who comment below who are also, remember, the algorithm is clever enough to know that those business coaches are also looking at other people's advice on leadership. Then it will show, and then it will look at linger time. How long did they read that post for? Did they go back to that post? Did they save that post? Did they engage in that post? And so it's just creating a mass of data that is actually, and this is where AI gets bigger than our own kind of ability to sort of fathom it. All of that mass connection, that kind of cloud of little dots lighting up like a brain, is what it is. And it's just looking at these dots are lighting up who are looking at leadership, and they're suddenly getting drawn towards Jane. And then so now I need to find other dots that are lighting up like leadership, and then it will just like and actually Noel said thank you, the Brew 360 thing that we did, which guess what is actually a GPT. It's on my YouTube channel. I get nothing on my YouTube channel. I drop bombs of value on this YouTube channel. Look, 9 views. I don't know why I bother. Luckily, LinkedIn's my place, right? This is an easy way for me to be able to put these videos and then link to them, which is why I do it here. Where is it? Here we go. So LinkedIn Brew 360. This is the shortened version of the hour that I did on this. So let me share this with anybody. And of course, there's a handy dandy GPT that will help you to completely reposition your LinkedIn profile to take in account for these changes. Great. And so Genevieve said, since repositioning myself, I've had people reading my posts that share the same values with me. I'm leading with values. Yes, that's what we want to hear. So fantastic. Congratulations. Heather of the Barry.
Yes, Richard, thank you very much. And yes, following on from what James just said and your comment about the Brew 360, can't say that this early in the morning. I actually went through the video yesterday and have been kind of looking into it. One of the things, and it's brilliant. Everybody do it. It's great. It's really useful. But one of the things in sort of tightening up, I obviously have my one key sort of master goals methodology, but I do put it into the hands of, yes, entrepreneurs, but I also, we're working more with teams now. And kind of one of the things, I got a 7.8 score, so I'm quite happy with that in terms of my authority. So I'm kind of doing the right thing. But where it wants me to tighten up is choose one lane. I've got that in terms of what I do, but who I do it for. And I think there's probably a lot of us here where we can put our product into the hands of different types of people. And obviously the thing with LinkedIn is that you're linking with types of people. So how can we help tighten that without having to pick one lane completely and forget the other lanes? Because we're still going in the same direction, same road.
Yeah, look, Brew 360 doesn't just take, if you're just targeting business coaches, it doesn't want to just see business coaches as your connections. It wants to see things that are like partners. So if there is software that business coaches use, then the people that work within, or the influencers within that software world, are good people for you to be connected to, because that helps you to be there. Other peers, so other people that are selling into that audience, also are good, because the top people in the industry are connected to each other. So that it wants to see that in there. And then you've just got to just take your own hypothesis and go for it. Look, if it's a good connection, you want to connect with them, connect with them. But I would just look at who is your target audience, who buys your stuff, and let's just be connected to those people as much as possible. Let's have the biggest amount of people in your connections, percentage-wise, those people, and that will then put you on good stead. Because of course, those people will read your content, because your content should also be positioned for those people, and then more people comment on that stuff, then it's going to then help that viral effect.
So still the thing is pick one of the lane, pick one of the audience types.
Pick a lane. Look, well, not a lane, but a lane, or not all lanes, but one lane. It's far easier just to do that. Otherwise, you're just making yourself difficult.
And I like that thing about values, because in a way maybe the lane is the values and the transformation, rather than necessarily the people.
I like your QR code, by the way. I'm
cool,
going to come to Dawn's question. Can I get into it?
Yes. And if anybody wants to do, it's my animal productivity quiz. can find out what drives you.
It's a bit blurry for me. It doesn't work, but I like the idea of it. Really cool.
Maybe it's because it's
Sorry.
too small.
Yeah, it probably is actually. That's interesting. It comes up too blurry, I think, but it's a good idea. Dawn, over to you.
Following on from Heather's question, actually, and Heather, I'm happy to have a coffee chat. There you go,
Great.
about it. But I was gonna. So over the last month or so, I've been trying to work out how to use the two arms of my services, if you like. So absolutely, Heather, I think we're both facing a similar challenge, as I'm sure many are. And what I've decided is to do a little test. So I'm in the process of started yesterday of trying to use my company page, DHR coaching page, as the target post for leaders, execs for coaching, and then use my main profile page for my consulting business, which will, she says confidently, which will mention and support some of the coaching posts. So hopefully some people still see it. I don't know whether it's going to work. I do know, we've been given advice by many different people that the business pages don't work. They don't get the same kind of feed. I know that, but I'm just going to try it for a month and see how it works.
You are right that the business pages, unfortunately, on LinkedIn they're no good. And so they just don't have the reach, they don't have the volume. Every now and again you'll find one that does well because there's some sort of brand behind it, or they've got many contributors helping to be able to push their clips and work it through. But the most important thing is to be able to have your profile, because with your profile you can connect to people, you can proactively DM people, you can push it out, you can have a newsletter as a profile, as a company page, so that could help, but you just don't get the reach. So but then I'm not saying it's not good to have one. We have one and we do share posts to it, and it helps when you've got stuff, when you're when you've got kind of a bit of a few things going on. That does help, but ultimately it is about your personal profile.
I'm going to try it, Richard. There's no harm in trying it.
It's no harm because you're going to be able to put content out, and the good thing is that you will still get a better result from your personal profile because you are streamlining that. So that's because
I feel that's where potentially the disconnect has been, when there's been too lots of different types of posts and potential client base. So it's been confusing, and I think that's what might help. I don't know, Heather. Let's get a coffee and talk about it.
I've already sent you an invite.
Perfect.
Lovely. Good stuff. Well, look, I'm going to go because I've got a one-to-one now. If Aaron has just joined, which I think he might have done, what we'll do is we'll close this room down and then let's rejoin. Aaron, if you're here and you can hear me, rejoin because you're my call now. But I'm going to say goodbye to everybody because it's the end of LinkedIn Breakfast. Just remember, gang, that link for those LinkedIn profile audit, do jump onto that if you haven't done already. I'll just put that into the chat one more time. Let's just quickly do that. So here we go. Oh, and thank you, because a few of those slots have now actually gone. So there we go. So there's click on that. So if you haven't got that, it's at the bottom of the chat now. Click on that, it will open up into a new window. Aaron, you look very confused. I'm going to close this room down, rejoin this room, and it's just you and me. Thank you all for today. And it's been great seeing you, and I'll catch you at 9 a.m. next Wednesday.